Hey everybody, welcome to Metal Nation Radio, Metalholic Magazine, talking to our dear friend Fernanda Lira of Nervosa, the new album Agony coming out on June 3rd. How are you doing?
Hey everyone, thank you for the opportunity to be here again talking to you. And thanks for everyone that's listening. And yeah, we're doing just fine, a little bit crazy, as I was telling you when we were not on air. We just got back from Argentina. And on Wednesday, we're like in 2 days, 1.5 days, we'll be heading to Europe for 2 months. So it's super, super crazy. But that's the way we like it. We're great. And we're really, really excited about releasing this new album and start promoting it on the road. It's gonna be awesome.
Well, absolutely. And you were just mentioning you're leaving here and heading over to Europe, and you're doing a huge set of headline dates. Then you're coming home for a couple months, going right back out a tour with Destruction, who has one of the other great thrash albums of 2016 along.
Yeah, Under Attack. Awesome album.
So in Europe just loves you guys. I mean, we love you all over the place, but Europe has really embraced you.
Yeah, that's awesome. We feel great. We feel great about that, because when you're a Brazilian metalhead and you have a band, like you always dream about touring the US and Europe and everything. So it's every single step we take is like a dream come true for us. It's really cool.
Well, and it's got to be exciting to get a chance to play with people that you've admired for so many years, bands like Destruction, guys like Schmier and whatnot.
Yeah, totally. Everyone knows, like everyone who listens to our music knows Schmier and Destruction are a huge influence for me, like on not only on writing riffs and writing songs, but also like the vocal lines and everything. They're a huge influence to me. And since I was a teenager, I guess, like my early memories on thrash metal involved Destruction. So when Schmier personally invited us to be joining this tour, I literally almost had a heart attack. It was like, just, you're fucking kidding me. He was like, no, why not? This is going to be a killing tour. Why not? And we were really happy because, like, again, they were a huge influence. And Shamir is just a great supporter. We owe a lot to Shamir because when we released our first video clip, even before we released our demo, he shared our video clip on his Facebook page. And then Napalm right away got in touch with us, so we are really thankful for him for many stuff. He's a great supporter, and that's kind of crazy to me, like, Schmier supporting my band and then inviting us for a tour. That's just crazy.
Well, that's going to be really exciting. I wish you guys were going to be doing the same tour here in the U.S. Unfortunately, I know the U.S. market isn't quite the same as the European market. But
yeah, but maybe, I guess, like it all depends on how successful this tour will be. So maybe we can, like do some other legs. All bands are trying to promote new albums, so it will be perfect. Just perfect. Let's see what happens.
Well, I'm hoping to get a chance to see you on this tour at least. So much has happened for Nervosa between writing and recording Victim of Yourself and creating the new album Agony. How did that journey the last few years impact making the new record?
It impacted a lot in many, many ways, and all of them like positive ways. Because after we released Victim of Yourself, ever since we released that, everything we go through is like super new and super exciting for us, and people kind of feel that. Actually, for example, after we released the album, we toured a lot South America, South and Central America, Latin America, and in a general way. And then after that, we just toured Europe for like 2 months in a row, 51 shows, 60 days. It was a ridiculously crazy busy tour, and it was super fun. Like we used to have like fun every day because, like touring Europe is like touring a different planet for us. And the same thing I can say about the US, which we toured like a couple of months after the European tour. And everything was so new, like not only like the culture and the way the metal scene works, but also, like the fans, they are all different from each country we go. And also we got the chance to stop and visit some tourist attractions. Like, for example, in the US, we visited the Grand Canyon, and we stopped by some beaches in Florida and everything. And then in Europe, we visited the Stonehenge and stuff like that. So everything was super. It was like vacations for us, actually. So we were happy all the time, and for sure that influenced on the new album. For example, we recorded the album in California, and this has been like a long-term dream for the band. Like, like forever. We wanted forever to record an album in the US, especially in California, where most of the bands that influenced me and the bands I like very much, they recorded albums in California, or they are from California and Bay Area and stuff like that. So recording an album there was just awesome in many ways. We would wake up at 7 every day, like 7 a.m. Come on, if it was like any other day, I would wake up willing to kill everyone around me. But no, I would wake up with a smile on my face, like, yeah, let's do another track, And then we would record for 10 hours and would be back like super tired home, but then very accomplished and everything. And this whole energy, like this whole vibe, really contributed for us to go there and just kill when we were recording everything. So yeah, I think everything that happened influenced the new album in a very positive way. And I think people will be able to listen to that because the album, there's a lot more of energy on that. It's more aggressive, faster. So yeah, I think it was really influenced by all the good experience we've been having.
And you were, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were originally going to work with Brendan Duffy, I believe, but you ended up working with Andy Clausen instead. Why the change?
Actually, we ended up working with both. Brendan, he produced the album and we recorded everything at his studio in Davis, California. And then Andy mixed and mastered it. So, and you know what? I think that was a great outcome because Brendan, Brendan has a lot of good equipment, like top line equipment, and he's a good guy. He gave me a lot of ideas on vocals, and also, yeah, he gave us a lot. He really produced the album. It was really cool. And he understood what sometimes he would give like tons of ideas. We would refuse them all and he would understand. And sometimes he would give like one idea and we would be like, yeah, that's awesome. So we worked it really, really well with him. And then we chose Andy for mixing and mastering it because, first of all, we wanted like a different name from the person who would be recording it. And then we sent like emails for tons of people. But what I like the most about Andy, first of all, because he's a master of thrash metal, he's played thrash metal for a long time and he's produced a lot of thrash and death metal bands. So he really knows how to do that and how to reach that. And so the first reason we were happy of working with him is because of that, but also because he was really excited when we contacted him and we really wanted that, like we didn't want to have like a huge name to mix and master the album, but the guy would do that just like he does like any other album, like just a regular work and everything. But no, Andy was the complete opposite. He was really stoked. He was like, oh my God, I really like the songs. I really like the band. Let's do like an awesome album. He was very excited. And I think that's important too, because the energy that he put on the, like mastering and mixing, it makes all the difference. And he was very patient, and because we pushed him a lot to get where we wanted, and he actually thanked us for that. He was like, thank you very much. It pushed me a lot to a different level, but it was awesome. It was, like both sides were really happy with the final outcome. It's really good. And he did it the way we wanted, because that's the way he produced stuff. Like we wanted it like raw, very raw album, not a lot of effects, like of course sounding great, but still raw. And he does that like in a very good way. And it was like Brandon and Andy, it was like the best option we could have had for this album, for sure.
It's funny, I was talking to Eric A.K. from Flotsam and Jetsam, another one of the great thrash albums that came out this year, and he told sort of a similar story. They ended up using Chris Collier, who's a great upcoming producer, but he said they sent it out to a number of name producers, and it was sort of like they were just going through the motions. It's just another disc, but Collier just nailed the thing, and it sounds like that's what Andy did for you guys.
Exactly, and I think that this is really important. I think you always have to work with people that are as excited about your music as you are, and I think this makes all the difference. And I think people will really notice that on the album.
Exactly. So now, obviously, the first album, you come to it, it's a fresh experience, it's all new, you're excited just to make that first record. Now that you've had all this experience, how did you guys approach making the second record differently than the first?
Yeah, I think we naturally evolved from the last album. As you said, it was fresh and we were like a new band, you know. Of course we had an EP before that, but still we were new and very raw and everything, you know, like the songs were simpler and everything. But now I think there was a couple of factors that contributed for this album to be on another level. You know, the first thing is that we evolved as musicians. Like all the touring we did helped us improve our technique and our way of playing and everything, which is really important. And also we were listening to different stuff from when we were listening from the stuff we were listening when we recorded Victim of Yourself, for example. We were listening to a lot more death metal and everything. So yeah, this contributed a lot for us to write this album in a different way. And also we had, because Pichu, our drummer now, she joined the band. We were recording the other album because she wouldn't have enough time to, you know, learn the songs and record the way she wanted. So she didn't record the last album and she didn't write it too. But on this new album, she wrote all the songs along with us. So me and Rika would come with riffs, and then she would listen to it, put the drums, then we would, you know, set up the details all together. And she's a very aggressive and technical drummer. She's a very, very good drummer. And she kind of, because of that, because she's very technical and very aggressive, she kind of pushed us to write more aggressive and you know, faster and more technical riffs. And I think this all influenced on the final result in the album, because for sure it's a faster album. It's rawer. I mean, like the songs are straight in your face, and there's a little bit more of death metal. It's a more technical album, and most of that I think we can kind of thank Pichu for that, because she really pushed us on writing this kind of blend between thrash and death metal. And also all our influences. We were listening, the three of us, to a lot of Vader and stuff like that, and these all contributed. Yeah.
You sound relentlessly angry and brutal on this record vocally, and many of the lyrical themes, I mean, you all do as a band, but in particular, the lyrical themes, your vocals and everything. Do you see, because you don't strike me as an angry person, but is that how you sort of channel your rage and your anger at things, is through your music?
Exactly. I'm not angry at all. That's what everyone says. Like when you were on stage and, you know, when we listen to you singing, it doesn't feel like you. It doesn't sound like you. And yeah, because I'm like, I'm a clown. I'm always like easygoing and everything. But you said, you just got the point. That's exactly what I do. Well, when I'm writing songs, because, you know, when you live in Brazil and South America, it's hard to make a living. You know, it's really, society's all fucked up here, very unequal. There's a lot of social issues, and then you have to leave this. You have to, you know, go through a lot of bad stuff when you leave. You see a lot of stuff around you. So you kind of, in order not to go crazy, you kind of keep it to yourself, like all the rage for the injustice you see around, you kind of keep it to yourself. And then thankfully I have my lyrics. I can write and kind of spit it out, you know, spit all this rage out. I always say my lyrics are my greatest tool, like for expressing myself. And they really are, because that's where I spit all my rage on, you know. And I think I also, because here in South America, we're kind of used to all the bad stuff that happens, you know. We don't think about that. We don't debate about that. We do, but, you know, not as much as we should. And then I think with my lyrics, apart from just expressing myself, I think it's good because I can make people at least think about that. I don't want people to agree with me. They can agree or disagree, but at least they will take some time to read the lyrics and think about that, you know, and debate to themselves or to their friends, and just take some time to think about that, because I think changes start when you start thinking about changing that, you know. So that's what I'm happy about my lyrics. And yeah, when I'm singing, not only on the studio but also live, I think about all the stuff I wrote. I think about what I was feeling when I wrote that song, and I think that's why it sounds aggressive, you know. And especially on Agony, I don't know if you noticed, but we don't talk only about like social issues and stuff like political matters and stuff like that, but we also talk about all other human aspects, like more abstract ones, like for example, arrogance and intolerance and
Right.
hypocrisy. And most of the stuff I wrote, I lived, So every time when I was like going to there and record the song about arrogance, I remember exactly what I was thinking and what I was going through when I wrote the lyrics. And this really helped me, like screaming like crazy and everything. But yeah, it's the way I found to, spit all the rage and spit all the bad feelings I had when I wrote the lyrics and everything. And I think that's great because I scream there and I scream in the shows. And then outside of that, I'm super cool. That's the thing.
Well, we obviously don't have time to talk about every song on the album, but I wanted to ask you about two or three in particular. Because as you were just saying, you come from the background, you write your stories from the background of your experiences. Here I am in another country and you're getting ready to go over to Europe, but these songs are very relatable no matter where you are. Like Intolerance.
Exactly.
Intolerance Means War really hits home for those of us in the U.S. because we suddenly have this hate-mongering sociopath not only running for president, but actually getting people to support him. It's a very ugly time in our country, which we're not used to. What inspired this song for you guys?
I think intolerance, it's probably responsible for 90% of all the shit that goes on, not only in Brazil, but everywhere in the world, because we have intolerance everywhere. We have like political intolerance, we have racial intolerance, we have like, culture intolerance, we have religion intolerance. So we have intolerance basically on everything. And when you're intolerant with religion and others people's views and others people's culture and others people's way of life and others people's sexual orientation, chaos is the result, right?
Yeah.
So I think I was like watching the news and I was watching, like all this religious intolerance that goes on everywhere and all these things about borders and all these things about people killing each other because they're from different races or different colors and everything. And I was like here in Brazil, like killing gay people and stuff, stuff like that. And this really it was really suffocating me. It was like, I wrote that like kind of 6 months ago and everything. And it was like a critical point, like lots of stuff were going on, like terrorism and stuff like that. And I was like, my God, I gotta spit that out. So I was writing about basically everything about that's happening, that's causing chaos nowadays in society. Because if we're gonna see, most of the stuff that is causing like this terrible time we're living now in the whole globe is caused by intolerance, So I think, in each country you can relate that to in a specific thing.
Right.
Here in South America, there's intolerance to a lot of stuff. In the US, as you said, like this terrible Trump stuff going on. And in Europe, there's this religious intolerance and then this border thing going on. So it's really all over. And that was my inspiration. Of course, from some of the stuff we face here in Brazil. Brazilian people are easygoing, but there are some conservative people that they are intolerant to everything, So I was inspired by actually everything that's going on in society right now.
And, I strip it back even farther because to me, the root of it all, the root of intolerance is insecurity. If we erased insecurity as a human emotion, we wouldn't have any of the problems we have. There would be no intolerance. There would be no hatred.
Exactly. That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
So, all right. So we're running out of time here. So I definitely want to ask you about this. You close the album with a track that's a bit of a departure from it all, although there is some crushing and angry heaviness to it. But it's far different from the other stuff. The song Wayfarer, it's got a very bluesy thing to it. We hear another side of your voice. Tell us about that track.
Exactly. Some people, actually, all the interviews so far, people are like, is it really you singing? I'm glad you noticed it is me. But yeah, me and Prika are huge blues fans. And it's been a while since we were like, oh, we should definitely write a blues song one of these times, but we never had time. And then when our label said like, oh, it would be cool to have like a bonus track for this album. And then we thought like, that's it. Let's do this bluesy thing, And I think it came out pretty well for a bonus track, right? Because it has nothing to do with all the other songs, with any of the other songs. So I think it's as a bonus track, it really worked well. And I was gonna sing like the way I sing with my graspy voice and everything on during all the song. And then Pika was like, come on, because I'm a clean singer too, but only on the shower. I study lots of techniques. I listen to a lot of divas and everything because I really love singing. And I actually started singing like clean before I started singing the way I sing in Nervosa now. But I've always sung to myself, not to other people, or in karaoke tops. That's that's all my experience before with that. But Prika likes my voice, and she was like, come on, try and do that. I was super, super shy, of course. But I think it came out well. And the acapella thing by the end, I just recorded that when I was in a house. The sound you hear there, I recorded in a stairway in the house we were being hosted there in California when we were recording the album. I was like, oh my God, the acoustics here is awesome. I need to record something. And then I record them. They loved, and they were like, come on, let's put it in the album. So that's basically how Wayfarer was born. I really like that song. I don't think we'll ever do anything again like that because it's a bonus track, but I really, really liked the outcome. I really, really did.
It was definitely a nice treat at the end of the album.
And totally unexpected, unexpected, right?
That's fantastic. Fernanda, thank you so much for taking some time. Hopefully we'll see you when you're here in tour in America. Talk to you soon.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rustin, for all the support and everything, Thank you so much.